32. 6th summer entry, 3rd year. Dear Journal, the thing is, the ancient world is so full of dangers that you're not really allowed much time to be sad before something else comes up, like planning our escape. After the battle, we gathered again to talk. Demosthenes was there and Nicias survived the fight. The generals tried to persuade us to man the ships and try again. The discussion got very heated and a petty officer almost lunged at Nicias. If either of the generals had the ability to motivate us, we may have actually gone back to the harbor. Instead, they gave in and did not order us to return. It was decided to begin a retreat to Catana, the city Alcibiades used his wits to capture all those years ago. It was nighttime. However, we got the news that the Syracusans were setting up roadblocks. Nicias decided to wait. He gave us a day to pack our essentials. I had nothing to pack or leave behind. A petty officer saw me doing nothing and tasked me with helping the very seriously wounded. They were all splayed out on the field of the enclosure. I discovered Crapface among the rows. He was lying on bloody grass with nothing on but underwear and sweat. He looked pretty rough. I gave him some water. Then he spoke. "You got in our way," he said weakly. "We were ramming a ship and you got in the way." "Yeah, we were trying to ram a ship too," I said. He grabbed my shirt. "Everyone is dead. Ship sunk." "Same with the Melita," I said. "I'm the sole survivor, just like you." "Oh," said Crapface. He let go of my shirt. I stayed with him throughout the night. I had no one else to be with. I'm writing this as Crapface sleeps. 33. 7th summer entry, 3rd year. I hope this isn't my last entry. Nicias and Demosthenes gave us the final mission briefing on the beach. "This is our last chance," began Nicias. "There are 12,000 of us left. The barrier in the harbor has proven impassable. We can't get off the island, so we must find friendly territory. We're going to Catana. The enemy has set up patrols and fortifications throughout the area. Catana is a few days' march north," continued Nicias. "We will split our army into 2 divisions, one following the other. I will command the forward division, and Demosthenes will command the rear. The Syracusans are all over the forests and canyons hunting us. If we stay together in formation, we will be safe. Food and water is limited. It will be impossible to bring any wounded who cannot walk." There was murmuring, however no one really objected. When I revealed the bad news to Crapface, he took it well. I'll only slow you down and put the whole army in danger," he said. "I only hope my sacrifice will help our great Polis. Keep that sparking rock safe," he continued. "I want the warmth to remind you of me." "Thanks, Crapface," I said. The feeling was tense as we marched our tight square formation down the road. We never knew what was behind the trees or bushes as we passed them. I was in the center, fairly safe from immediate danger. We came up to a river blocked by a phalanx of Syracusan hoplites. Our soldiers broke away from the square and formed up to meet the enemy. The Syracusans were still no Boeotians, and they were easily swept aside. As we crossed the river, I filled my sheepskin canteen I was able to trade for. I had a hard time refilling it and was dying of thirst for the whole march. That night, Nicias and Demosthenes squares met up on a hill where it would be easy to see oncoming enemies. There we rested for the night, and I ran out of water from sharing with my marchmates. We had nothing to eat that night. In the morning, the 2 divisions turned north and marched down the hill to a little village where we gathered whatever food and water we could find. We left the village, which was at the bottom of a ravine. 2 great slopes were at either side of us as we marched through a canyon. Our square entered a bushy part of the ravine. That's when the first of many barrages began. I was inside the square, and I had a wooden shield so I could deflect most of the arrows shot at me. We had no choice but to march through the projectiles. When the ravine allowed, the Syracusan cavalry would descend upon us. As long as the square held, the horses were too afraid to go near the protruding spears. Sometimes it broke, and the enemy was able to cut down a few of us in the center. The hoplites would reform and chase them away after a while. The sun set, and the Syracusans got tired. They went off to rest for the night. The 2 divisions met up and camped in the ravine. Nicias addressed us, saying there was a river a day's march away from our current position, which was good, because my mouth was as dry as my elbows now. Another day beyond that was Katana and safety. Currently, the Syracusans have us surrounded, he said. We will attempt to trick the enemy by lighting our campfires and secretly withdrawing in the night. I easily started a fire with my special rock. The 2 metal bits rubbed together and easily created a spark. When I was drunk and out of it in the ear of Dionysus, I could swear it produced a flame, not just a spark. Well, whatever. I was wasted then. When the rest of the fires were set, we ran into the darkness. Every shadow was a possible Syracusan. I was terrified. But it seemed to work, because nobody attacked us. When the sun came up, we reached some trees, near the river we were headed to. I was hungry, but the thirst was more painful. It was midsummer in the Mediterranean. I think I ran out of sweat, and my eyes had gone dry. Water was only a few trees away. When I pushed aside the last bush, I saw the river, surrounded by hundreds of Syracusans. Our army tried to go back the other way, but more Syracusans blocked the road. We were trapped and forced to sit in a terrible purgatory. I sucked on as many dewy leaves as I could find, but it still wasn't enough. Then, to my delight, I found a big leaf with lots of water nestled in it. A metallic man with a blood-red cloak emerged from the bush and flung my leaf out of his way. "I will not hurt you," said the man, as his authoritative helmet caught the sun. "My name is Gylippus. I wish to speak with Nicias." This was the first time I looked into the cold brown eyes of a Spartan equal. His powerful and confident aura lived up to expectations. Here's the conversation between Nicias and Gylippus. "That must not be true." "Send a messenger if you doubt me. He will be protected by the truce. We promised Demosthenes that none of his men would be killed if they laid down their weapons and surrendered. I offer you the same terms." "Well, maybe we'll take our chances." "Surrender or die." The messenger returned and confirmed that Demosthenes had indeed surrendered, and his division taken prisoner, all 6,000. Nicias still refused to surrender. Gylippus returned to the Syracusan side, and we were pelted with all the usual things for the rest of the day. I had now forgotten the taste of water. The enemy broke off for the night, and we decided to try the same campfire trick as the night before. There was a river to the southwest, which was protected by native Sicilians who hated Syracusans. That's where we decided to try for. The campfires were lit, and we set out into the darkness. My body was worn out and moving itself. The only thought in my head was water. The trick failed, and the Syracusans pelted us in the night. You could only run and hope the gods were on your side. We reached the Southwest River, and this is where the climax of the last 3 years happened. Order broke, and a massive chaos, spurred on by thirst, descended upon the river. Syracusans emerged from the forest and blocked the river. Great columns of fire burst into the sky, as giant bonfires were lit all over the area. The thirsty and unarmed Athenians threw themselves on the spears of the enemy. Many of them were pushed forward by the momentum behind them. There was all the horrible screaming you expected. However, there was laughter too. The enemy was amused as they slaughtered us. Many Athenians were indifferent to the enemy blades as they drank the water. The killing never slowed, even as I collapsed in the water. It was more blood than water, but I drank it. A dead body fell on me, then another. I was crushed, and I could not breathe. Now, the lack of water, food, and sleep made me delirious, so I'm sure what happened next probably had a perfectly rational explanation. Under the bodies, in the darkness, I took out my fire rock, and a flame illuminated writhing flesh. That's when a pair of spindly arms found me and plucked my body from the mound of bodies. I was set down by a metallic man, the same man I met in the ear of Dionysus.
"Don't get yourself killed, man,"
he said.
"We need you to live for a long time.
There's one, fellas!
Better run, dude. Watch this."
I woke up in a chain gang. I heard from my fellow chain gang mates that last night Nicias surrendered to Gylippus. Nicias was quickly taken back to Syracuse. This meant that the entire Sicilian expedition had been killed or captured. In my head, the end of this involved me, my friends, and family living happily ever after off my war booty. This chain gang was an unexpected turn. We were marched back to the city. That's when I saw 2 naked bodies lying on the road near the gate. One of the bodies was Nicias. Demosthenes was the body beneath him. The Syracusans had simply executed the 2 generals and thrown their bodies outside the city. We were shuttled through the gate, and the noise of jeering Syracusans hurt my ears. The people threw crap and rocks at us, letting out 3 years of frustration. I had a realization. If someone had come to Athens with the intent of stealing all our stuff, we would all be angry at them too. Maybe we didn't think this through. Maybe we shouldn't have antagonized the largest Greek city after Athens, who could have been a powerful ally in the West. All told, only about 7,000 of us survived. We were deposited in the stone quarries beneath the city. I have nothing else left to write on, so this is probably my last entry. 32. Summertime. The real plan was to have us all slowly die. It felt like I was in my spot for 1,000 years. One day, there were 2 Syracusan guards making a prisoner give out the daily rations. "This is more than any of you deserve," one guard said. "Yeah," said the other. "A handful of food was more than my old man got during your blockade. He died because of you." "Crapface!" I exclaimed. "Oh no," he replied. "You again. Why do you keep calling me that? What does it mean?" I don't care. The last time I saw you, you abandoned me on the ground when I begged you to take me." "Did you?" I asked as I strained to remember. "Yeah, and you took that rock that starts fires." "Did I?" "Yeah, you said, 'The warmth of the flame will remind me of you.' Then you left me. I was taken prisoner a day later." "Oh, okay, I guess that's what happened. I must have misremembered." "Keep moving," said a guard. And that was the last time I saw Crapface. I spent my days in the quarry with my roommates. They were only in my head, of course, so it was like they were really there. I had memorized Euripides, whole catalog of plays, because Humongulus taught them to me when he was real. We performed those plays twice over. The guards must have heard me and told someone, because I was offered a job. One day, a distinguished-looking man hired me to teach his children. I left the small area I called my home for months. In my new home, I spent the day teaching my master's children as they hacked my shins. When they got older and stronger, they pushed me into things. One day, my master came to me and said, "Now that the kids are teenagers, I don't need you anymore. I have sold you." My old master attached a chain to my collar and led me to the harbor, where I met a small child. "Who are you?" he demanded. My name is Jericles. Who are you?" "Jericles?" said the boy, surprised. "You're my uncle? But you're so weird and off-putting." A man behind the boy spun around. "By gods, it is Jerry," said my brother Bob, who I did not expect to appear. "You still look like you did a decade ago." "Yeah," I said. "I think I have been given a mission by the gods. It has been 9 years since I was sent home, before the massacre. It took a long time for my agents to find you. Having a transportation company helped." "How many made it back home?" I asked. "Effectively none," replied my brother. "In the intervening decade, I married and had a child. Then Alcibiades returned. He said he had a plan to beat the Spartans, and Athens forgave him. After a few defeats, he ran off again. He was killed recently, after making enemies of both Sparta and Persia." "Oh," I said, as I put my Alcibiades figure away. "So what, did we win the war?" "The Spartans made a deal with the Persians and were given a navy. There was a final naval battle at the Hellespont. The Spartans won the battle. They blockaded Athens until we surrendered out of hunger. I was just happy that the war was over." "So, we lost?" I said. "The last 27 years of war were just a total waste?" "Yep," said my brother. "The Spartans left the garrison and put a board of 30 people friendly to Sparta in charge of Athens. Huh, more like a board of 30 tyrants. Now that I have found you, you can be my political proxy and help me free Athens." I remembered my brother had lost his arm. He wore a cloak that obscured the limb that wasn't there. He would need me to speak in the assembly for him, if there was still an assembly. "My name is Herodotus, by the way," said the boy. "I forgot to introduce you to your new nephew," said Bob. "He is named after his grandfather, our father." "I like how he knows you're weird," said my dad. "He reminds me of me. By the way, this is the first time you thought of me in years. Didn't you remember me telling you about living as long as you didn't forget me?" "Sorry," I said. "I forgot." "Of course," said Bob. "If you're going to be allowed to speak at the assembly, you will have to be a member of the Pentacosio Medenmoi class. So I will have to adopt you into the family, Jerry." "As my son?" "Really?" I said in disbelief. "Yes," affirmed Bob. "It's time to go home, son." "Yes," I said. "Let's go home, Dad." What the heck? Is he my uncle and brother now? What's going on?